welcome to episode 62 of Beyond Retro. I am Joe Amato, and I'm here with Nathan Kennedy. Tyler isn't here for this episode. He's out.
He ran out of clean tank tops, so he's got to go and wash all of them.
He's trying to take care of some business. So maybe he'll be back tonight for Fans of Power. Not quite sure yet. So
I think he will be. Nice of you to join us this week, Joe.
Yeah, I know. Damn it! It's like I'm always disappearing. Some shit happening. Sorry about that.
It's all good, sir.
Yeah,
I think like shit happens, things come up. Technology sucks. It's one of those things.
It does. And I'm still with my horrible technology, like always. It seems like it looks kind of a little clearer, but maybe it's because the sun's out. But I'm trying not to move too much because somebody mentioned something about an auto zoom, and I don't know because, like I said, this is an old tablet, so I don't know what how to do any features. But they said sometimes maybe when I'm moving, it's trying to catch me.
I can see it. I can see it doing that now, actually.
Yeah. Damn it. What's up, Grimbot? See Grimbot in the chat room. So
I saw his review.
Yeah, we'll talk about his review. Yeah. Now, remember, this is somebody who's never seen the movie,
right.
So it's always different. And that's what's interesting because we're going to be talking obviously about Sleepaway Camp, and it's like anything. Sometimes you might have just the memory from your childhood, and it just stuck with you, and it was always a great movie. And then you see it years later, and you wonder, oh, was it just as good? Now, I'll just be honest, I loved it just as much as I did when I was a kid, but I could see some people looking at it thinking, maybe they didn't flip over it. I mean, it's a cult movie, It wasn't a movie that a lot of people don't even know about Sleepaway Camp. And for me, that's like fascinating. Thinking, you don't know Sleepaway Camp? But, there's all sorts of movies out there that not everybody knows.
Right. So Tyler and I have discussed this before. The first time that I saw this movie, we both went to my local video store, and this was during the time he would come and stay over, and we would just go there.
How old were you guys? I'm curious.
I want to say we were like 16 or so we were still in high school, but like that would be the thing. Like I'd have my buddies, and I'd go and ask my parents about that. Hey, could Tyler or my cousin John or Josh or whoever? I'm like, hey, can they come stay? And they're like, sure. So Tyler, when we started getting into this routine, we would go there, we'd grab a stack of just shit horror films. Some of them, I'm not gonna lie, a good chunk of them were shit. We showed them before, like Splatter University and Slaughter High and things like that. But this was one of the first ones that came into this routine, and man, like we were into it from the start. And I watched it last night because I haven't seen it in years. And to me, Joe, total agreement with you. To me, it still holds up, though. I could have swore that there were more of like the flashback scenes with the mom, and there's only like 2. I thought there were like way more scattered throughout the movie. I was like, oh wow, there's not as many as I remember, because that was one of the parts at the time. I was like, but yeah, it's fantastic.
I agree. Real quick, you're right. Real quick, I want to say hello to Delva78. Thanks for joining us. Said he's popping in real quick. Don't know how long you'll be here, but I hope you enjoy for how long you're here, and you can catch us on the rerun or whenever you want to listen to iTunes, whatever. But no, it's the same thing now. I know what you mean. Like when they showed like the flashbacks with the aunt that she was with, that she grew up with, that took her in after, because like how you said, the movie starts. It's Angela and her brother Peter are out at the camp, and they're with their dad, and they want to.
This is a really funny series of events. It's like it goes from those guys, and it's going to like a counselor and some chick that's wanting to bang him, and they're on the speedboat, and there's one of the, I guess I'm assuming it's their friend behind on the skis, like they're going too fast, and it's just that back and forth where like the dad's sitting there and the kids are wanting to like push him in, they're in, and then I guess it's his brother or somebody that shows up is like, hey, we gotta go, and he's like, all right.
I think that was his buddy. That was the father and his buddy, and yeah, they're at that camp Arawak. I don't even know if I pronounced it right. I don't even know.
It's either Arawak or Arawak.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say Arawak just the way that it was spelled out.
Okay, so
we'll go with Arawak.
Okay, but yeah, so they're there and they're just giving their dad a rough time, and shaking over. Boom, the boat goes over, and of course then the 2 other kids are one's on the skis and the ski boat, and the 2 in the boat, and you know how it is. Everybody's wanting to not pay attention, do something, bam, and 2 people get killed. You are under the assumption.
I mean, you jump right into the part where it's like, oh, they get killed. I want to talk about the fact that like they're just sitting there. She's like, can I drive the boat? And he's like, I'll get fired. And she's like, oh, please. And then they switch, but then they're just talking to each other, not paying attention.
Right,
and the chick on the skis is like, turn. And it's
she's the one that went screaming like crazy. I think the one that was on the skis. I think she was the one that was screaming insane about getting help. But no, that's the thing that drives me nuts. I know that when they're on the boat and they're looking at each other, it reminds me of any time I watch any movie in general where somebody's just driving down the road and they're looking over at their the wife or the husband or whatever, and they're talking like. Who does that in real life? Who will look at somebody for 40 seconds while they're driving and look that way?
Never.
It drives me nuts. And sure enough, there's always a car crash. Like, who does this? But of course, they even do it on boats too, which leads to an accident that kills a couple people. And then 8 years later, you see.
Well, here I want to say this too before we really start digging into this. If you have not seen this movie yet, and it has not been spoiled for you, like I would come back to this review. If you want to be spoiled, sure. I mean, the movie's old as dirt. It came out in what, 84, 85? Yeah, somewhere around there. So if you don't know the spoiler twist part of it, then
and that's a hell of a twist. And that's the thing. Somebody like when I post on my wall didn't even know about it. Again, we're under the assumption everybody's had to seen it, but no. Not everybody's seen everything out there. So, yes, this will be spoiler heavy. And also, Who Dat Well, thank you for joining us. And Grimbot brought up something in the chat room. It does make sense. He said maybe there was a TV cut that had the additional scenes with the ant that you were thinking of.
Well, see, here's the thing. Like, that was the VHS that I rented, unless that was some sort of weird alternate version. Like, I've never caught it on TV. We rented that. I loved it, went out. Because this was at the time, too, the box set, the DVD box set had just come out. So once I knew that, I went and bought the set, and I'm like, all right, I gotta.
And did you get the box set that was at Best Buy that had the Red Cross on it? Because I hear that one got pulled from the stores from the Red Cross had an issue.
Well, it's that same box, but it doesn't have the Red Cross on it. Because that was the thing. Yeah, like they pulled it and then put it back out without the Red Cross.
It was a different cover, exactly. And Fedmon, yes, Fedmon, I'm back. Like, I was having so many technical issues and crap and Facebook stuff and getting a stupid ass cord just to hook into this to charge this tablet. So I'm back. But no, so this movie, I seen it when it first came out. So I'm just a young kid. Remember, I'm always seeing horror movies. And of course, at this time, this is, Friday the 13th came out, and then you got another and another. So it's at the time of camp movies and stuff that petrified me because I was scared to go to camp just because of Friday the 13th. So I think this was my only, outlet of experiencing camp movies. And of course, it always had to be a horror movie because I was like, I wouldn't go to camp. I was so convinced as a kid that there was a killer at a camp. I was like, I'm not going to a camp. And then bam, here comes Sleepaway Camp, and there's another killer. So, but it's a twist, and you never see what I like it. There's some movies that will show the killers from their perspective. As that started happening in the sequels of Sleepaway Camp, which I just didn't like. I hated the different actors.
Really? Oh, no, I like the sequels.
I mean, of course, we're not going to discuss the sequels today, but I mean, just to give a quick example, I mean, the different actress, that played her, was that Bruce Springsteen's sister or something?
Yep.
It just, she didn't have the same feel. She was obviously somebody else, but I didn't like that character perspective where I could see her, and then it's like, she's joking so much, I couldn't take the kills seriously. Whereas in this one, you don't know who's doing the killing.
Yeah, that's the beauty of it. It's shot from that first person perspective, and I'll admit, like, yes, if you because Emily watched it with me, and I was like, hey, do you know who the killer is? She's like, I'm pretty sure, but she's like, it's doing a pretty good job of sort of keeping me like guessing. Yeah. So
did she enjoy it? Did Emily enjoy it?
She's kind of with some stuff she's sort of just indifferent to anyway. Like she'll just be it was fine. It's not a.
I wanted to bring up one other quick thing. Grimbot said, according to Wikipedia, he said the DVD version is shorter than the VHS release, and Blu-ray is uncut.
Huh. All right. Well, you know what? Maybe now it's time to upgrade to Blu-ray and see, because it might have more stuff in it, and that's what I'm remembering.
Okay. Well, there you go. And thank you for that, Grimbot, for doing that. Checking that out. But no, this, like I said, I was just a youngster when it came out, and I know Felissa Rose, who played Angela, was older than me at the time. But boy, I've always had a thing for girls with, like, the dark brunette hair and the brown eyes. The dark. Oh God, I mean, she was so damn hot to me. I know she wasn't speaking, through most of the movie, and she had this crazy, really wide-eyed look that she would do.
Yeah. I should just.
Yeah, but I loved it. It worked. It was so damn creepy. But I was like, God, is she hot? Of course, at the end, then there's a whole crazy twist, and my whole freak out of that. It's not for what you would think. It's like I'll explain that towards the end because
Okay.
But
hey, I was kind of wondering, like, are we gonna jump straight to that, or are we just
jump straight to the end?
Okay.
No, but there's a lot of crazy kills. There's a lot of rotten little shits in this movie. I mean, these kids that not only cussing, but these little mean little young kids, like the ones that were throwing sand on Angela when they threw her in the water, and her cousin pulled her out. I mean, her cousin was walking back, and they're throwing sand, and he's cussing at them, and even those little kids get killed. You don't see it, but they're all in their sleeping bags, and the killer goes up to grab an axe by it, and then later you see all the sleeping bags of dead kids. I was like, well, that's pretty damn brave, because it's something you usually didn't see. Like, it
wouldn't have happened. It wouldn't have happened if that counselor hadn't have taken those two kids back.
The two
begrudgingly, yeah, they're like, I don't want to go back, and he's like, all right, fine. It just leaves the other kids. I was like, I mean,
well, hell, you don't know. I mean, the killer, might have killed him too. Just true. For, I mean, you never know.
But not only are the kids really shitty, but man, I wanted to devote just a tiny smidge of time to, I guess you would call him the head chef.
Oh, God.
What a fucking pervert, man. He's like sitting there. He's like, they don't have hair on them. We call them baldies. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck?
That damn pedophile chef that was, when all the girls were coming, he was looking at all the girls go by and said, I was like, yeah, that's pretty damn creepy. So when you see later a scene when he takes Angela back to, what was she looking for? Some kind of sweets or something?
I can't remember his name. I just call him Counselor Short Shorts because that's all he wore through the whole, like that dude with the big, huge arms, but he just wore short shorts. And I'm sorry, like, I'm not one to really ever do this in films, but my eyes just immediately went to his crotch because his shorts are just like.
And I couldn't believe, what's crazy though? Because I reflect back to the 80s, I was like, damn, we did wear some goofy ass shorts. See, I know that, like, when were you born again?
84.
84. So I know as you started getting older, it's towards the late 80s, going to the 90s. It didn't happen.
We were in that weird period when I was a kid of like the 80s going into the 90s. So some of the 80s was like drifting in, but there's like, like rat tails are becoming more prevalent, and it was a weird time, just a weird time.
Yeah, you had a time where things from 80s might have got sprinkled. Yeah, I mean, when I was growing up, it was not only just regular shorts, but where everybody was cutting their jeans to be super short shorts and wearing these goofy shirts that were cut right here where it just went over the chest.
Yeah, guys, the crop tops, man, that was so.
We wore some weird shit, but
you did both of those things.
Yeah, I mean, you think you're a tough guy, you think you're a tough guy.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I could see Joe just walking around his crop top and his short shorts with the mask on. With the mask on.
With the mask on, but not only that, we would take like our shirt like this, flip it over our head to be like, on our back to where, it's like just the shirt's over here and you got the shirt on and it's like showing our chest. We did some of the goofy shit. But no, so back to the cook already.
Yeah, the counselor short shorts is Angela hasn't eaten. He's like, well, you want to go find something that you like? We'll go look for that. And then he drops her off in there, and then that's basically when he's just like, hey girl, like, you're quiet, you won't say much. And he starts unbuckling his pants, and that's when
Ricky, I think.
Yeah, Ricky with the foul mouth, man. I love him.
And that's the thing that would have been me. You just lose your temper, and you're always trying to protect somebody or your family, and you just lose it. That would be at half the time. And I've kept it cool. Sometimes I let stuff slip on the podcast where I think we've been admonished for our language at times, Nathan. But anyway, yeah.
I came here expecting Roger Rabbit. What is this crap?
Yeah, what's this? All this concept.
Oh no.
Yeah, so that cook already took Angela back there, was getting ready to molest her, and then here came Ricky, saved the day, got out of there. Then it kind of flashes to another scene where, you were seeing at one time when Artie was with the other chefs, like some that were in there, and how he has to get on the stool to take up this lid and look at this gigantic pot where they cook stuff. And of course, it's flashed later. He's in there doing something. Then you see just some
he's
person.
pissed that there's no more salt. So he's got to go get more salt. Yeah.
And there's a person hiding behind a little table, and gets up and he goes, "Hey, it's you," but we don't know who he's referring to. And this person basically pulls a stool or chair from underneath him. He falls, and the hot water goes all over him, burning him, like supposed to even wetting his eyes, but he's screaming insanely. He's just bubbling like on his skin from that hot scalding water, which they got to take him out, but which was gross. That was when they were trying to do
that was a really good effect. Like you could see it like actually rising and bubbling from his neck. It was cool. I like that effect.
No, and it was so. But then they wanted to. Well, obviously, it was just an accident, but they didn't want anybody knowing about it. They didn't want to rattle anybody. So
Mel, the guy that's running it, and he just has a terrible fashion sense. Looks like he's got a comb over, but he just wears like bright greens and yellows, and he just looks really tacky all the time.
Yeah,
Mel. And he's a pervert too, by the way. We'll get to that.
Oh yeah, we'll get to that too. Yeah, exactly. But no, so Mel, he then has the other chefs that were there basically saying, "Well, you'll get a raise. You'll get $50 more a week, and the other guys will get another 15 or whatever." He was telling everybody, like, "Hey, it works for everybody." So
that guy that got promoted, that was like a I don't know, I don't know if that was intentional on their part, but just a very generic, "Oh yes, sir. Oh yes," like it was very like I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how to explain it, but it's like almost like a parody of what they had done before when it came to like having servants and shit like that. Just how black talked on film then, or how they made them out to be. It's strange.
Well, I mean, it sure isn't like that no more. I mean, but sometimes you'd catch it in the 70s and 80s. They would still like reference or like just use ways where they kind of made it seem like it was like back in the South or something.
Yeah.
How they would, and it's like,
yeah, I got a vibe. I got a vibe from that.
Yeah, because where I've grown up, and I'm sure where you grew up, was like, well, I've never seen that in my life.
No.
I've never seen anybody that would act like that. I was like, God, I hope it wasn't that, or they were trying to mock somebody that was black and saying he was acting like kind of Southern slave-like. I was like, oh, Jesus, this can't exist still. But of course, that was it was 83, so maybe they thought that was still like that in some parts. I don't know. And I'm sure people who are listening to this might even one time inform us, say, yeah, maybe in the South at that time, it still could have been like that. But I have no clue, because I've always been a city kid. Like I said, always been in Ohio. I've never been anywhere else besides that where I've lived. So this is all I've known, city life, and never seen that. So
I couldn't live. I don't think I could ever live in the city. I kind of like that balance of living on the outside. That way, if I need to, go into, I can. But I kind of like living in a more rural setting, and I hate it when I try to say that, because it sounds very marbly when I try to say rural, and it sounds stupid.
It's a word that sometimes you try to say quicker multiple times, it isn't going to sound really good. It doesn't roll off the tongue as well. But no, me, it's just I told you, I have to see my surroundings at all times. I gotta, when I go into restaurants, sometimes as nuts as it sounds, if I see
like to sit against the wall and kind of look at.
I do.
I mean, I prefer that too. I don't like to sit in the center of the room.
Yeah, I don't like.
I just feel like everything's crowding around. Yeah.
Right. It's like I gotta know I can always have my back covered. So it's like my back literally is covered. I gotta watch my surroundings. I don't like.
That sounds like something a mob boss would say.
Well, yeah. Well, I never thought of that, but I guess that does make sense. But yeah, I don't. Yeah. So it's always city. But yeah, this poor Angel, like you've seen, she starts getting picked on. She doesn't talk that much. I think she just talks to one person. Was it Paul, that one guy that was kind of falling for her?
Yeah, it's like his friend, Ricky's friend.
Yeah, Ricky's friend. Yeah, so I think that's the first person that got her to speak. Well, yeah, he was the first person that got her to speak. But so the other girls are just mocking her at all times. Or
Judy and her tits that just came in.
Yeah, Judy, and then what is the other one? Meg. Meg is the.
You know what? I got something for Meg. I was like, damn, you know what? She's cute. She's probably her eyebrows at times looked a little like bushy, but no, she was cute. I liked her.
Well, I think they're all cute. I mean, not as cute as Angela. Angela was the one for me.
Judy, not so much. Judy, just, I mean, obviously she's supposed to be that, but a huge bitch. I didn't think she was hot at all. She just looked at least with at least with Meg, she looked like she at least had some increment of like niceness to her, even
Tried,
though she was
yeah,
mean. Yeah.
yeah, which she was mean, but no, I mean they always had to have in those movies, and they still do it in almost all movies. They always have to have that one character, so has to be the one that is, like you said, a mega bitch or real mean or nasty. And yes, you want him to get killed, but I thought I was like, man, she's still hot. But it's like, yeah, but you want her to get killed though. So
Yeah.
yeah, more and more people are getting killed throughout this movie. I mean, like that one kid when they go out to the boat, and then boat like tips over, and then you
Oh,
yeah, hit. Go ahead.
no, I just that whole sequence was funny because it's like he goes, well, it's like, hey, come on, girls, let's go skinny dipping, and none of them want to go. It's like, all right, you know what, screw you, and then like all the dudes just get naked and jump in the water. It's like,
I know.
why,
I was gonna
why,
say.
what, why would you want? Hey guys, let's get naked and get in the water now. None of the girls are
I
gonna be
know.
here. Maybe
Like
our wieners will touch each other in the water.
it was under the impression like they were thinking, hey, we're going to do this and it'll attract the girls to follow us. But
That
otherwise,
sounds
yeah,
like something. I imagine you've done that at some point in your life, haven't you?
no, I've never said, hey guys, let's all just jump in the water.
No,
Let's
no, no. Have you tried to coerce a girl to go skinny dipping with you? Is what I'm asking.
Other things, but not by water, because like I said, I've never
You're a
been
city
much.
kid.
Yeah, I'm a city kid, so I've never been for water. But it's like, hey, you want to check out this apple tree in the back of the barn or something? Like, or not a barn, but like a shed that looks like a barn. Like there was this apple tree and there was a cherry tree, and never mind. It was
No, I know. I want to know this
just
now.
basically, well, in back of the one like barn looking shed, there was this one apple tree, and you go around the back, and then it was shaded off with a lot of. What am I doing here? So, anyways, yeah, it's like let's go pick apples. But it's
Really?
still,
That was your move. It's like, hey, let's go pick apples.
well, it was one
What?
time.
Yeah,
So,
hey, you want to get naked or something?
hey, let's pick apples. Want to get it? Well, hey, whatever gets you to this, like,
Did it work?
yes,
All right.
that's it. So
Good.
there, you can't fault me on that. But no, nothing jumping in water. I like I said, there's yeah, I don't have somewhere it's like, hey, let's go jump in the lake or the river. It's like we didn't have one around us. It was just we'd go to well, hell, there was a place called Detweiler that was that open around summertime, and that's where you could go swimming. But it was never my thing. I was never
Right.
somebody that always liked to want to go swim, so it wasn't for me. But anyway, so back to this movie, and not me picking apples and other things. Yeah, so the one guy goes out and he's with the girl, and I think the boat like tips over, whatever.
He does it on purpose.
Yeah, he does on purpose, and then he's now under the boat, and he's like calling her name. Like I always thought, well, why are you calling her name if she's already gone? What do you think she's gonna hear you? And then up rises from under the water somebody. He's like, hey, it's you, or whatever the hell he said. And all
Yeah,
you see is
there's a lot that's like, oh, it's you.
yeah, and all you see is the back of somebody's head, and you see some black hair, and then just slowly these hands come up and like just push his head under. It's like you're not even much of a struggle, just basically saying "bam" to drown the kid.
Yeah.
So people,
And then the next day, that counselor, which honestly kind of reminded me of myself because they threw all those chairs in the little shallow part, and he's going in there and he's like, "It's goddamn kids, it's fucking little bastards." And he's just like picking shit up and throwing it. That would be like me if I was a counselor there at that camp. And he kicks over that one canoe, and there's that kid, which he was alluding to like the water snakes when they were out there on the water, and then it's like one comes to his mouth, which
yeah,
that looked cool. A lot of good, like just even though it's not
it wasn't a big budget movie though. I don't
yeah,
think.
but it's still look good for
Yeah,
what they had. I liked it a lot.
yeah,
I
and
keep,
like
I keep saying that, like I like that a lot, but no, it's a really cool special effects. It's you don't get that anymore. It's like, no, we gotta CG his face. Why?
yeah, that's what I mean. I love the original kind of practical effects, if that's what you're going to call it. But I liked,
Yeah.
when people would work with wax and rubber and other stuff and just make
Actually
some of
make
the
molds of people's faces and things
yes,
like that. Yeah.
it makes some of the grossest looking stuff. It's like nowadays, it's like they're so hell bent on saying everything has to be CGI or computer effects, and you could tell when it looks fake. It's like God, that didn't impress me at all. It's like it wasn't scary, it wasn't gross. Like when you're seeing people like boom, their heads explode, and you can tell it's just boom, a computer effect. I miss the days of them. Let's sculpt up this damn head, load it up with a bunch of gook and crap, and really had it pop and look like something really blew up or a head got split and blood and brains and
I mean, there are some filmmakers now that come out with horror films that do that because they grew up on these movies and they like that a lot, and they don't want to go through the path that Hollywood has seemed to have taken these days. And so it's coming back. It's getting there a little bit,
Well, I
but
hope so. I mean, and I would think because as much as people can, want to say, well, to do it with computers, it costs so much more money, to do these effects and do it frame by frame, and they ramble about all the stats of why it's so more expensive. I was like, why don't you just go old school then? Do it how they used to do it, and put some love. Be one of those special effects, makeup artists. But like you said, hopefully they do come back. But throughout this movie, yeah, we're seeing more killings. We're seeing that one douche character that gets locked into the bathroom when the killer.
hey, that's a creative kill. Like you don't really see anything until the end of it, but that's a really creative kill.
And a lot
That's
of work you got to think about from the killer of what that killer would do. Not only sliding like a broom handle through so the person couldn't push out to get out of the bathroom stall, but then after that, sitting there, and then you see in back of that person a window, and then a knife come to slice open the screen. I was like, oh man, this person's going to stab him in the head. And then there's a twist. Stick comes in with a beehive, and of course you're not seeing any bees coming out of it because I mean, well, it's just they have to build up the moment, and then shaking it and bopping, boom, and you don't see the person getting stung to death, but you're hearing the agony and
you're hearing it, and you're seeing the doors like trying to push open.
Right. Which then leads to then him laying there, and you see like all the welts and nastiness on the arm and the face covered in bees. Like it worked. You can use your imagination of what the hell happened to him after seeing the aftermath.
Well, let's talk about what led up to his killing anyway, because this was sort of I want to call him like Ricky. Ricky's probably main nemesis.
He's the douche that threw the water balloons on the top of the roof.
Well, even before that, like you had the softball games, which led to my favorite quote in the film, where the one guy was coming up to bat, and I'm pretty sure it's Ricky that says it. He's like, "This guy blows dead dogs."
Oh yeah, I did it. Yeah. That would be something you'd get a kick out of. A great quote.
But that's also more crop top action because Ricky's counselor in their bunk, he's wearing a crop top, and all his machismo is just like flowing out of there. Dude's like really fucking hairy. But they take on those guys. They beat them real bad, and I think they placed money on it too.
So wasn't it $5 a head originally, $1? But then Ricky was like, "Let's make it $5 or something like $5." Yeah.
So then they're dicks, but then Ricky and Angela no, it's actually. It's just Angela's walking through, and for some reason, all these guys are on top of the roof throwing water balloons at each other, and I'm like, why the fuck are you on the roof anyway? So they toss one at her, and that's when Ricky comes in, which leads to another of my favorite parts. He's like, "You pricks, you fuckers," and it just kind of keeps repeating that, "You pricks."
I can picture it being you or me as kids just going nuts defending our family.
Yeah, and then Mel comes in and like grabs him, and he's like, "All right, you know what? That's it. What was it? They get some sort of punishment, right? Is it like they miss out on dinner or something? I can't remember.
I know he was admonishing them all and telling the ones if they ever did it again, they would be kicked out of the camp. But then he was like, "And you too," and he was like, because Ricky in his mouth, and I was like, "Well, what else are you gonna do? You see somebody messing with your cousin, you're gonna lose your mind. Yeah, I guess you might drop a couple F-bombs and other things, but." Well, Jesus, I didn't feel like he should be admonished, but then obviously, then that's what starts getting Ricky on Mel's radar or something, because now, which will lead up to some other stuff later. With all these kills, he's wondering what's going on. Eventually, he's assuming there might be a killer. Because I think it really I didn't know if he started getting really suspect about it after the douchebag, the blonde guy gets killed by the bees, but then after. Is it not Judy? Meg. Was Meg the one that was going to be with Mel? Is it Meg that wanted to be with Mel?
Yeah. Weird. Meg and the other counselor, who was actually really nice to Angela. They get the day off, and everyone else has to like take the kids out camping, I believe. So Meg goes up to Mel and say, "Hey, I got the night off. Remember you said you would get me dinner." Or cook me dinner or something, and he was like, "Oh yeah." So then she goes back into the bunk and she's gonna go shower, but there's a line, and then it's like Judy's like, "Oh, you can go next door," so she goes next door, and then unfortunately,
and then Meg gets killed. Yeah, Meg sitting there just humming some song or whatever, and
some shitty. I don't even know what the hell that was. She's like,
I don't know what it's either. But so she's showering, and then suddenly. From her back, because on the other side, a knife goes through, and you're assuming it went into her back. You can't see, but then the knife is getting drugged down more and more and more and more, like it's obviously just splitting down her spine to where it kills her. And then when Mel sees that, then Mel's figuring, okay, I know who this is.
Well, and then Mel goes to like Counselor Short Shorts and someone else is like, hey, if you, or I think he's talking to Judy actually, because Judy's making out with the guy, and that guy's got to hide under the
Yeah.
bed, and he comes in there, it's like, hey, have you seen Meg? And then then he goes to the counselors like, hey, have you guys seen her? We were supposed to meet up. Like, what? Are those guys
It's,
not putting that together at all?
so
But
it's
anyway,
so pervy. I was like, this guy looks like he's, I don't know, in his 70s. And Meg Houston is like, I don't know, 18 or whatever. It's like, what is she? Why would she want to hook up with him?
especially him, because like his face, he's just like,
He just look. It just. It seems so gross in both directions. Thinking, okay, first he's being a perv. I mean, I'm assuming, I'm hoping she's over 18, because if she was younger, it's like, okay, this is just like promoting pedophilia. I don't understand what's
who
going on.
knows? I mean,
And then
maybe.
but then what's her attraction to him? It's like, what has Mel got? What's a 70-year-old guy that looks like he can barely walk? What's he got that she's like so into? I didn't
It's
get it,
those
but
green pants, man. The green pants, the lime
well,
green pants.
so when he sees that she's dead, then he's just, oh, there is a killer, and the killer is Ricky. Just assumes it's Ricky getting even, because after him yelling at him or something, or admonishing him or whatever shit happened. Because I'm trying to remember the other order of when did Angela get thrown in the water by those idiots? And
Yeah, obviously that was before, because Meg picked her up and tossed her in the
oh yeah, and I
water.
forgot. And plus, remember Ricky was going to go save Angela, and that's when Mel grabbed Ricky. He was, I know what you did, or whatever. And remember, he was holding him from running to
Yeah,
go save Angela.
but it's also too, we got to backtrack even further. Somehow Judy is actually attracted to Paul, and at the dance, I think it's at
What's
the
that
dance.
jealousy thing? Because yeah, Paul, you're right. Paul at one point where he's finally talking with Angela, and then gives her a little kiss or another
Yeah,
kiss.
that awkward shit. Let's talk about that too, where they kiss. And he was like, "Hey, can I have another one?" And she's like, "All right." And
Yes,
it's so. I mean, I I would be weird about it too. Like I've been there before.
yeah, so it was probably awkward for her, but yeah, I know that when they kiss, then, well, like I said, there was that kiss, and I know later when he was trying to make out with her, then she had a flashback of being with her brother, seeing her father with that guy that was at the camp at the beginning of the movie,
Yeah,
that they were together, and then when Angela, like, flashback to normal, that's when she
yeah.
ran
She's
off.
like, no.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, and runs, he's trying to do more, and of course, then
And then
I think,
he goes to apologize, and she kind of brushes him off. And that's when Judy swoops in. They go out into the woods, and she's like making out with him. And then
yeah,
that's when Ricky and Angela find them both. And he's like, "No, I didn't mean to." And then that leads to the part where they toss her in the water, and then Paul is like trying to
there it
talk to her.
was. Okay, I
Yeah,
knew there was a build up. You're right, so many things going back and forth. But yeah, Judy obviously wouldn't do that because she just does not like Angela at all. And definitely, if anything would, really get to Angela or piss her off, why not go to the guy that has a thing for Angela? So we could see that, which made the kill of Judy one of the most interesting ones I could say I've seen, but you still don't really see, but you think you know what's going on, because since Judy is supposed to be the camp slut, basically, and getting with all sorts of different guys. So when this kill happens, which was cool, was like when the door opens and you finally see a person standing there, but you still can't really see the
yeah.
person.
They do a good job of like you can't really make out who that is.
Yeah, like they shadowed off the face, and you see like short hair, but then almost looks like there might be a little bit of a tail in the back, and it's a different shirt, and just standing in a way to where you can't tell who is this. But this person gets closer and closer, and then of course user like, hey, like it's you, and it's saying some shit, and then suddenly, boom! Here comes a punch that knocks Judy out. And then since Judy was there curling her hair or like straightening her hair, I'm sorry, using a hot iron. That's when after she's knocked out and always groggy on the bed. You see the
Yeah,
put her legs up on the bed, take a pillow, put it over Judy's face, and then take this hot iron, and you only see a shadow against the wall, and it goes like this and starts moving, and then you see shadow hands screaming. I'm assuming she shoved it right up her vagina. I know that's
yeah. That's what I was thinking too.
yeah. So she killed the
Or
camps,
we can pull a Tyler. Shove it up your ass.
or yeah, or that. But yeah, so that was an interesting kill, which then starts going towards, it's getting all hyped up now towards the end, like what's going on, who's finding the killer, we're gonna see, who's doing what. It's
I do want to bring up when Mel finds Meg. I thought this was hilarious when he was reacting. He was doing this with his hands, and I was like, Joe would appreciate that.
Yeah, you're right. I remember that part too. And you know what's weird is Deucin just said in the or Deucin, sorry, just said you could tell by the hands that a girl was doing the killings. Which weird.
I didn't think so.
So say if you think about it, Deucin, at one point, especially like when they showed that like sucker punch or that punch, I almost thought it looked like a man's punch, like a man hand. Like I'm assuming at some point during showing certain parts, maybe they were using a different person as the
I imagine that's
just to
the
throw people off.
yeah.
Because you're right, I'm assuming maybe at times it was a female, but that punch, sure, I even thought I seen just it just looked like a rough man arm. I don't know. I could be wrong, but I mean you're right. It could be a point. It could have been a female as well. But yeah, so we start advancing, getting a little more further into it, and then Mel finally catches Ricky, and just figures Ricky's the one does it, grabs Ricky, gets him to the ground, and then just starts. You just see like I don't know, like Hulk
Beating the
smash.
shit
I
out
don't
of
even know what
him.
he's just beating and beating and beating, and then
Well, he
those
looks like a guy that doesn't know how to throw a punch anyway.
right. So he's
just
just
awkwardly flailing his arms.
yeah, and I was saying, oh my god, did he just kill that kid? Did he just
Yeah.
do it?
Well, that's
Because
how
everyone,
the way that they did it makes you think that he did, you know. And then fucking officer fake mustache with terrible mustache
can I say something about
shows
that?
up.
Weird is
Yes.
earlier in the movie, that officer, I remember seeing him, and his mustache looked normal, but then later in the other part of the movie, it did look phony. I'm like, why does his mustache look real here, and then it looked fake there? It really did look phony.
Like two caterpillars kissing, man.
Yeah,
It was
looked.
bad. It was bad. It was almost like you could see like the little like glue that they put on right there.
It
Terrible
was
mustache.
it was a very bad looking one, but yeah. So then he shows up, and then later after the Hulk smash version that happened to Ricky by Mel, when the other two counselors are going around, and they see him laying there. They see Ricky, but Ricky, thank goodness, is still alive. And now Angela did say to Paul, you know, like meet me by the lake later, and then said something like, "Oh, let's go skinny dipping." And then as the two counselors come up, you see like the back of somebody, and you hear a humming. It almost reminded me of the goofy humming that Meg was doing in the shower, but different. I don't know. I was like, was there a tune I missed? Did I miss something in this movie which I might have about the humming or a song? But you see the back of a person, and then you see a head, and it's like, but it looks like Angela or whoever this person is sitting there cradling Paul. And as it got closer, then I think that's when boom, Angela stands up, and then there was wait, did they show the flashback first of
Yeah,
when
they showed the flashback first,
yeah.
and it goes to like you're seeing one of the kids like bandaged head, and the mom's just like, you know, I've always wanted a girl. I wanted Angela. It sounds like an angel. Do you like that? What, Peter?
Yeah, Peter. And then you find out, oh my God, here was the big twist. You assumed at the beginning the person that got killed was Peter and his father, but it was Angela got killed with the father. And then this aunt who took in Angela, or excuse me, Peter, wanted to have a daughter because
Dr. Weirdo.
Yeah, yeah.
What, like, weird. Like, she's so weird. Like, always touching her face. Oh, yes. Yeah, now I remember.
Yeah, and that's the part that I remember seeing silly to me was like when she would kind of act and talk to herself to seem silly, but she is supposed to obviously be out there. She always wanted a daughter. She already has a son, which is Ricky, so she's going to turn Peter into Angela. So that's why Angela was like kind of always usually messed up in the head. But then from that, then you see, oh my God, it's a boy, because you see.
Yeah, Counselor Short Shorts is like, oh my God, Angela's a boy.
Yeah, and you see standing there. Now, this is what got me as a kid. This is why I say this was the twist for me. It wasn't that because you see standing there Angela in this body and a penis. As a kid, I had VHS quality, obviously, because that's what was around back then. Also, TVs didn't have this high definition that you have nowadays with all this new stuff. It was pretty low quality. I was like, is this some kind of monster? Because you remember the voice says, like making this weird sound that just freaked you the hell out. But I thought it was like a monster because I didn't realize this was blood coming down the chest. I thought it was like a hairy beast, and I just thought it was real furry at the bottom. I couldn't even, as a kid, I didn't see a penis. I didn't know what I was looking at. I heard growling. I seen what I thought was fur, and it scared the shit out of me with that crazy wide open face and that expression. Yeah. It haunted me. And every time I seen it, I remember when I seen that part at the end, I had to have all the lights on in the house. It scared the hell out of me as a kid. And it wasn't until years later I found out that that was a penis and blood dripping down. I didn't know. So for me, it was a weird twist. They said, oh, it's a boy. I was like, oh, I thought it was a monster. And I didn't know. I was like, is it a boy monster? I didn't understand what I was looking at. But I don't know what you thought the first time you seen it, but I didn't know what I was
No,
looking
yeah.
at because of the
First
TV.
time, the first time we saw it, I was just like, I didn't have those same thoughts. I was like, holy, like it looks awkward anyway because yes, it's a dude and they found a way to like superimpose her face on it. So like the effect itself is what honestly adds to it and makes it look that, but just because the effect itself looks weird. It ended like that because it shows like a, and it just freezes on her face and turns green, and then here comes like the happy song during the credits, and like
Was
Tyler and I are just sitting there like, did that really just fucking? Because you kind of start to assume about 20-30 minutes into this that it's Angela, or like we're sitting there talking, it's like I think it's Angela, but it wasn't expecting it to be like that, so it totally just.
Did it freak you out though? I mean,
yes,
that
yeah. Well, I remember Tyler specifically didn't want to go downstairs to get any like water. I had to go down and do it.
Is that something it does? It creeps you the hell out. But and then I think I did find out like at least one thing. I haven't seen bunches of documentaries and stuff, but I found out that obviously they made a mold of Felissa Rose's face to create that thing or that mask to put on to where I guess it was a guy that was standing there. It was some person that they hired just to get nude for that scene. I don't think this person has ever publicly came out to say who it was. He wants to be unknown. And then that's when they had like that face over his. But I think they made a mold of her face. So that is a mold of her insane face. They had to do these kind of special glass eyes that they put in back to match. So it looks just like her, but then it's it's a guy that is standing there. It's really some guy that's never came out to say he was. And yes, Grimbot, I do hope that the guy was 18 plus. But yeah, it was then years later I found out that it was supposed to be a naked person and a penis. But yeah, when I first seen it, it was so haunting. I mean, I was scared of this monster. I was like, how did that beautiful girl turn into this what looked like to me a hairy beast? I didn't understand what I was looking at, and they were like, "Oh, it's a boy," and I was like, "Oh, it's a boy beast." I always thought it was a monster, and I didn't realize, like I said, it was blood. But yeah, again, when you're looking through VHS, when you have a bad TV back in the day, and you don't have all this nice high quality stuff, you don't know what you're looking at. Like most people right now, when they're watching me, everything's gone blurred on YouTube. So that's pretty much how I watch TV. Is like how you guys are watching me now. That's how I've always seen television back then.
Old Joe. Poor
Yeah,
Joe.
but it's like I said, it's a good ass movie. It still holds up. It's still freaky. It's still shocking for when you've seen it. And like Grimbach gave it a 4 out of 10, and I can understand that.
Yeah, I mean it makes sense. I don't know. Like, I'm kind of curious what a general consensus would be of people that hadn't seen it before and just go into this fresh like now, like what with the pervy guy and just all this shit. Like
a lot of things would float nowadays. Like I don't think that the stuff with that insinuating being a pedophile. The ending, I don't think that would be controversial because it's not like saying anything like, oh God, against anybody transgender. That's not what the point of the movie was. It was nothing like that. It was just a shocking twist. You thought you were seeing the girl that being the killer, and then you find out that the girl was really a boy and that it was her aunt that just basically raised Peter.
Yeah, forced him to be a girl. Yeah,
exactly. Forced Peter to do that. So it's like, I mean, traumatizing, but I don't think it would be anything that would offend people nowadays. But I think, definitely keeping out some of that kind of pedophile type insinuating. I was like, I don't know how that'd work. I mean, hell, it could still work for a horror movie. And then, of course, you want the guy to get killed, just like we've seen. It's like, okay, the guy got killed. That's what you wanted. He got his just desserts. So it could still work, and I'm sure maybe a little, let's say, not better acting, well, to some degree, because like I said, the aunt at the beginning, I can understand she's supposed to be out there, but it did seem a little poor with her acting. The rest of the characters, I enjoyed them. They did great for what they were. They were actually.
I honestly think she's like the weakest part of the movie.
She is. The aunt is the weakest part of that movie, but I mean, I know that they were actually teenagers in that. Like, I know that was another thing they explained at one time, which I did see something about that, was I know that they usually try to have people in their 20s playing teenage characters. Well, in this movie, they were actually teenage characters. So for a lot of them, I'm sure it was their first movie. But I think it could. I think if they were to remake it, I think it's it still would work for a nowadays crowd, and just probably maybe up the effects. Maybe now that they could show a little more crazier stuff. Not saying CG works for everything, but maybe they could finally now have that beehive thing work a little more to where you show it and drop it. Maybe we could see an attack and an aftermath. Even though I do like being left to my imagination of what the hell just happened, and then you see him laying there dead. I don't know. I don't know how that could work.
I I I don't think it needs to be remade. And if they did remake it, I would hope that they would definitely change it up a lot. If they kind of went frame for frame with it and like kill for kill, I don't need to see that. I've already saw it once. If they did something different with it and maybe like even up the ante and change the twist in a different way.
Yeah, because I know what you mean. It's like sometimes when you see these remakes, it's like it doesn't really work because you're like, okay, I've already seen this, and I know that they're like, okay, we're trying to reach a new generation, so maybe it'll impact them, and then maybe then they'll go back and watch the original. But then, of course, they would laugh at the original probably and mock it, just like we see with a lot of other things, which I'm not going to bring up. You know what I'm talking about, Deucin. But anyway, that's what I mean. It's like when they redid Psycho, I was like, this just doesn't work for me. I remember the original.
Well, and they admitted that they're like, yeah, we did this frame for frame. Like, why? Like,
yeah, I just did.
What's the point?
Right, and it's like when they redid the Karate Kid, which I said they should have just called that the Kung Fu Kid because he was doing kung fu. He wasn't doing karate. It did have a different way it ended and different moves, but I was like, it just shouldn't have been called the Karate Kid. Like some movies just are best left alone. I know they always try to remake and do a twist, but it's like, okay, if you're having your own vision, then just do a brand new movie. It's like when Total Recall came out. It was terrible, that new Total Recall. The original, love the original Total Recall. That remake they did, it just didn't work. They just don't work. That's what I mean. I don't understand. So
I don't know. I liked our reboot. I thought that looked pretty cool.
Which reboot?
Of Us. The picture.
What? I got lost. What
happened? The reboot where we got rebooted. Beyond Retro got rebooted in our new anime style. Joe, come on. It got posted on your wall.
Oh Jesus! Are you talking about what Grimbot did?
Yes.
Oh yes, yeah. Now I know what you're talking. Yes, yeah. I did like it. Thanks, Grimbot, for that reboot. I was lost for a second. You guys got to understand.
What the fuck, Joe? You've been gone. You've been gone a week, and you just have amnesia to everything now.
Been gone a week. I had I think there was 600 posts for Happy Birthday. I haven't been able to get back to everybody yet, and I told everybody I'd get to them one at a time. I apologize, and then
I kind of wonder if anyone like popped in to be like, Nathan didn't wish you happy birthday on your wall. It's like I sent him a message. I'm not into the whole like posting on people's walls to say happy birthday. I'll send them a message. It's a little more personal, I guess.
I had 3 people unfriend me and actually send me a message during that time of my birthday, and they said, didn't mean to unfriend you. They said, but we were getting so well. I'm sorry. How each person kind of described it almost makes me think of all 3 of them maybe talked with each other and came up with this plan. But they said they unfriended me because there was so many notifications popping up from my feed to their feed that they're getting tired of the dings. And I was like, you could have just hit unfollow and kept me on your friends list.
Yeah,
because all the happy birthday messages, like, what the hell are you talking about? So I'm gonna unfriend Joe. It's like, just hit unfollow if you don't want to see some stupid messages from the
or
day.
if you comment on something that Joe posts and the cult comes in and it's just like 1,000 comments, just click on the thing and hide, or what is it, turn off notifications for this post.
It's funny you say that, Nathan. I've sat there and I watched like my friends list. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to post something for 2 days. Just see what happens. And my friend list will stay just the same. Then I post a picture of something from a comic or a cool figure or whatever else. And then if people start commenting, talking about it, sure enough, later that day, 2 people off my friends list because they don't want to see notifications. I was like, I've never done that. I've never went to somebody's wall or when I get notifications, so like, I'm going to unfriend that person. It's like, if it's too much, just hit unfollow, turn off. like you said, turn off notifications, like you and Grimbot said. Weird, but
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, I can't post no more. I post something people don't like. Like, I don't like you, Joe. Oh, thanks. I'm sorry. Didn't mean for that to happen. I thought I was just showing you something cool that you might enjoy, or even if you don't.
Put a hit on them.
Yeah, put a hit on me. But no, how have we been rating these movies? Out of 5 or 10?
Out of 5 stars.
Okay, you know what? The last few movies I've been getting 5.55s. This one though, the reason I'm giving a 4 is just like I said, a couple little parts in the acting of that aunt, kind of like, not that she was predominantly in the movie a ton to where I'd say, oh, it ruined the movie, but a couple little parts like, so I'd give it a 4 out of 5. I love the damn movie, but
damn it, Joe. I also give it a 4 out of 5.
No kidding. Okay.
Yeah. Fuck. Yeah. One of these days we're gonna have like just a total difference in our.
It's not like we're trying to copy each other with the ratings. It's just like I said, it had its little moments. Like yeah, if it came to others, well, that's the thing. I think if we ever talked about the other sleepaway camps, you'd probably be a lot higher than I would, because I didn't flip over the other ones. Like I said, not only the actress and the way and the point of views from the kills, but I remember the cover for, I think, the VHS. I don't know if it was part 2, to where they showed like the backpack with the Freddy Krueger claw and
the Jason mask.
Yeah, I was like, oh my god, it was so misleading. And I was like, I am not. Oh, some kids wore this at one point. I was like, oh, great. But you know what's funny is last night, through some Google searching for the fun of it, I was trying to bring up covers of some of the other sleepaway camps, and part 2, I think, I don't know if it's in the UK. Somebody's going to correct me. Yeah, Sleepaway Camp 2, Fedmon. Yeah, they had a 2 and a 3 and even an unfinished 4 or something. I don't know. But
well, there was an unfinished 4, and then they made a Return to Sleepaway Camp. I didn't watch that one though.
Oh, okay, because I know that the real Felissa Rose appeared, I think, and
yeah,
I don't know if it was that, but
yeah.
But anyways, if you did type in Sleepaway Camp 2 covers, it brings up one from either Germany or somewhere in the UK, I can't remember, where it's called Vacation Nightmare 2. And you want to talk about probably really pissing off fans, like how I got pissed off with that misleading thing with the Freddy claw and the Jason mask? Bring that up. They do a cool ass painting of it, and they have Freddy Krueger's face. Freddy is painted, and then like a painting of a Jason Voorhees. Do it right now, Nathan. It's type in Vacation Nightmare 2. And check this out. Could you imagine if that cover was used in the United States? How pissed you would have. I would have been even more pissed than I was from the other.
Oh wow! Okay.
Isn't that something?
Holy shit! Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually. It looks like Robert Englund is Freddy, and it almost looked like it was maybe a kind of a version of Part 5, Roy Jason. I don't know. It looks like the chevrons remind me of Roy's mask of Friday the 13th Part 5. I could be wrong, but
I don't like that though.
Yeah, no, it's cool. That's funny. Now that is a cool cover, but I would have been real angry because I would have expected Freddy Krueger to have been in the movie and Jason, not just the stupid mask and claw like the others. But you guys can do that too if you haven't. Just type in at your leisure, Vacation Nightmare 2, and yeah. But no, I didn't like those. I bet you'll rate the other sleepaway camps higher. But
I'm gonna try to watch those at some point soon, because it has also been a while since I've revisited those. Maybe they won't hold up as much, but I remember enjoying them a lot. They're just like cheesy, like really, really cheesy.
They are, and you and I love some cheesy horror movies, but I just remembered from the first one being frightened and scared, at points, to this one where that Angela, it's like how they're not having any impact of music. The kills meant nothing. They were like a joke. They were too silly to where it's like, I don't even feel bad when somebody's getting killed, because there's no impact to these kills. There's no suspense. There's no, oh my God, what's going to happen? And there's no music to make it frightening. So like you said, you might still love it just as much as you used to, but I never liked them.
They're no thanks killing, but.
Oh God, that's the one that we missed that we're going to do. That now that is purposely cheesy beyond belief. That is supposed to be horribly.
Yeah, but not, it has its moments, but Joe, that was not a good movie.
It was no, it wasn't. It wasn't. It was just stupid. I just remember, the girl getting, the turkey when he's stuffing the girl, and the girl when she goes, "Daddy," and it's
that was kind of brilliant. I'll give it that. I like that, and I like the montage with the nerd and the redneck.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's just it's so stupid, silly. It's like I said, Sleepaway Camp. I think was still trying to somewhat be a frightening film or taking advantage of the franchise and making money. Thanksgiving. I mean, that was nowhere anywhere in.
Oh, I know it's not. I know that the budget was $3,500. That's like Joe Amato movie budget right there. But it had a glint.
It's
It had a blip of like, ha, all right, that was kind of clever. But other than that, I didn't enjoy that.
No, yeah, Thanksgiving was just supposed to be over the top silly. It wasn't a feature length film of the length and how time was, but just like to think that that girl was looking at that turkey and thinking it's your dad. It's like,
Well,
oh
not
my
only
god,
that, but everyone else believed it too.
the turkey's just wearing the face of her dad. Is like this is so fucking insane.
How
It's
did he
funny.
get it that small?
Yeah, yeah. Axum is another one that's supposed to just be horribly bad. You still haven't watched it.
I
Axum is
still haven't watched it.
and it's bad. I'm gonna let you know it's bad, but damn it, if I have like about an hour to kill, if like some paint's drying from a custom I did, I'd pop it in because it's just so horribly terrible. Just the acting, especially when they see the kill, and one guy's oh shit, and the way they re-edit the same stuff over. Oh god, yeah, you guys got to see Axum if you've never seen that too. That's a bad movie. Let's see what Fedmon said. Fedmon said, I wonder if they changed the title in the actual film. I mean, they change it on the DVD cover, so they have to change what you see on screen
It's
also.
possible. But
Yeah,
at the same time, too, it wouldn't surprise me if they just left it as Sleepaway Camp too, because they've done that plenty of times.
yeah,
Especially with a lot of those Italian horror films, like or they would do a weird thing where just a completely different intro and title card, and like they do have that in there, but it like they just cut out the other stuff completely, and it's just like boom, like black screen, new title, nothing else.
yeah.
Uh,
And I'd love to have some of those damn posters, like that one for Vacation Nightmare too. I'd love to have that in poster form because it still looks cool. I appreciate the painting aspect of it. I love painted covers and pieces, even though like I said that's not in the actual movie. I'd like that. I also like in some like in South Africa and a lot of other countries when they would have a movie premiere. They would have like a local artist just paint on canvas this gigantic poster of something to advertise and promote, whether it's a Friday the 13th or even some like the Masters of the Universe movie. There were some really crazy, insane looking versions of how Dolph Lundgren was painted, but some of those horror movies with Jason, when I think they did part 8 or part 7, I was like, what the hell are they even drawing? This ain't even in the movie. It's so twisted, it looks awesome.
it
So
was it was like that with video games too. Like you would get those variant covers that would just have like the Terminator and a bunch of other things, and you put it in, and it's like something else entirely.
yeah, yes, I have one. It's funny. Is it CVS? Oh, damn! I have some video game magazine. See, when I would go to, I think it was at the time Software Etc. I worked at Software Etc. We had some international magazines, but even after that, I don't know if it was when it was Babbage's. We'd get some of the magazines that were from the UK, and they would just have some of the coolest painted pieces. And there's this one I have that has the Ultimate Warrior, and I think Super Mario and Sonic, and the Warrior looks awesome. And I still have that magazine and the cover. I'm gonna have to scan it. If you've never seen it, it is a badass looking cover.
Yeah, you do that and post it on Facebook, and it's a million likes, and
It's great. It's awesome. And then Nathan suddenly just unfriends me.
yeah,
He doesn't turn off notifications. He unfriends me. But I will try to get a picture of that. But yeah, so a 4 out of 5, and you gave a 4 out of 5, huh?
yeah. Fantastic movie. It was cool going back and revisiting that because
Yeah.
it had been a hot minute. I'm gonna check out the sequel soon too.
I'll have to watch them again because I've never seen the unfinished 4 or the official part 4, and I haven't seen 2 and 3 in years. So I
Oh,
just
I know that 1 through 3 are available now on Amazon Prime to stream if you're a Prime member. That's how I watch. I mean, I have the DVD sets, but
do you have to become? You have to pay to become a Prime member?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Oh,
they keep upping the price on that, but free 2-day shipping when I buy shit on there, and you get the
yeah.
streaming service.
I
To
don't
me,
have
to me, it's worth it. Some people are probably just like, nah, but it's worth it for me.
I don't have that Prime money. If it ain't free, it ain't for me.
No, yeah, I know,
But
I know, Joe,
all
all
right.
too well.
Well, we do appreciate Grimbot and Fedmon and for the quick appearance of Delvis that was here, and
Who dat whale?
That whale. Who that whale? I hope I acknowledge who that whale. I feel horrible if I didn't. I think I said hello to him. I feel terrible if I didn't, but
I want to say you did, but now I'm not entirely sure.
I'm on. Who that whale? I always appreciate you, man. But well, how do you want to wrap this up, Nathan?
I mean, shit. Just I feel a sneeze coming on.
Okay. Well,
And it kind of went away.
All right.
I feel like it's just gonna hit me all at once.
You'll be like, don't forget to subscribe too. And
yeah, probably. Now I got to make sure that the mouse is over here. That way I can mute the microphone and not blow anybody's eardrums out.
That's right.
No, I was just thinking. Any more final thoughts on Sleepaway Camp before we start going into the spiel here?
Do watch this. Do it. I've said it with most horror movies. Do it in the dark. I can't explain it. I've told people to watch movies before, and I'll always say try to watch it in the dark. And they'll watch it as bright as the shit is outside. And it's just some movies they can really lose their impact. It's like you got to get in that mood. It's a movie where it's got to be dark. It's got to be quiet. Just set the mood properly, and maybe you can get into it a little more because. If it's your first time and your first experience with it, and you have it bright and lights are on, it just for me, horror movies always just lose their impact in the light.
Oh yeah, of course. I don't think I couldn't tell you the last time I watched a horror film during the day because what's during the day I want to watch like a comedy or an action movie or something like that. But no, nighttime hits. That's prime time. I kind of like the like 2-3 o'clock in the morning, like just.
Well, I'm not up that damn late like you, but otherwise, it would be it'd be nighttime. Like the Goonies, I've always said the Goonies for me is a rain movie. Like if it's not nighttime, for some reason when it's raining and storming outside, I love putting on the damn Goonies. Can't explain it. I love watching that when it's raining.
I think. Honestly, The Crow is probably one that I like to watch when it rains. Obviously, because it just rains
can't
a lot.
Rain all the time.
Film. Yeah,
I would say can't rain all the time.
Right. which is always a good quote. I've always liked that quote. It is a shame that Hot Topic culture sort of took that movie and it's like, I hate it when they do that because it's a good film, but I feel most of the attention that it's got now is just from like those.
People that probably
pseudo goth chicks that are just like dark
or who've never maybe even seen the damn movie. And Fedmon did say I did acknowledge everybody, so I appreciate that. But it's like he's like, what's a good time to watch an X-rated film?
Any time.
Anytime you got a girl over, it's like here we go. It's like you're into this. We'll be doing this in a couple seconds anyway.
By the apple tree.
By the apple tree, it's like, oh yeah, you see that? Okay, we're gonna be doing this in about 5 seconds, 10 seconds. Here we go.
We're gonna be bobbing for apples, if you know what I'm saying.
Exactly. Shit, I lost. Oh, that was it. When you're talking about The Crow and how Hot Top brings it, and then people are wearing all the Crow stuff and never seen the movie, it makes me think of the phrase "Bye, Felicia." I've seen so many people, and I've even have some of my nieces and nephews who said it. They don't even know where it comes from. We're like, okay, say that. It was everybody saying. I was like, yeah, what movies that come from? I don't know. It's just what people say. You know what it's from, don't you? I hope.
I'm kind of blanking, honestly.
It's on Friday. Remember Craig? When Craig's sitting there with Smokey, and remember Felicia comes up. The local.
Yes.
Yeah, crackhead drug addict. Remember when she came up and she was begging for stuff, and then he just sat there, and Craig was all cool, and he was like touching his chin. He's like, "Bye, Felicia." And then that's where it came from. So I figured most people knew that, but you might not watch. Okay. So.
Well, there's an old guy at work that he'll just be walking around and you'll just hear "booyah." I'm like, who even says that anymore? Like, what the fuck?
See, I wouldn't even. Is that a Ninja Turtle thing? I don't even know what booyah.
Honestly, I don't know.
Everybody does it.
I don't know where it came from, honestly. You remember Cool Beans? You remember when people used to say Cool Beans all the time?
Oh, I hate that because when I used to, before that one place closed, when it closed down, then I became a customizer. When I worked there, that's the only thing my boss ever would say. Every time it's like, okay, Joe, you got this. You're going to be shipping this out. You know how it is. I'm doing 5 million things. They don't do shit. And then when I'm, getting it done, he's like, all right, Cool Beans. And walked away. I was like, oh, I fucking hate this saying.
Yeah, I never liked Cool Beans either. It just sounded...
Yeah, I couldn't stand that. And then, the Booyah, Grimbot said, yeah, it ain't a
Yeah, I
Ninja.
know
I
it's
don't know.
I knew it wasn't a Ninja Turtle thing, but I just don't know where the fuck it came from.
So I admit, I mean, I guess, I'm kind of a hypocrite then. If somebody doesn't know Bye Felicia, I shouldn't be rough on them because I don't know where the hell half of these things.
You don't know where Booyah and Cool Beans came from,
Yeah, so
Joe.
I take that right back. I do. I take it back. I don't know where shit comes from. It all comes from somewhere and eventually just becomes part of pop culture. And somewhere along the way, it gets lost and people don't know what half the stuff is. So, so I take that back. My fault. If you don't know where Bye Felicia comes from, who cares? There. Joe, I messed up.
It's best that some of that shit just fades to memory. Like, I'm glad that we can look back on the Macarena and just be like, yeah, that was a bad time in American history.
It was cool, though.
You like the Macarena? Fuck you,
just
Joe.
watching. Well, see some of the girls doing the Macarena because they would always try to get the hottest looking women to be doing it, and it was nice to watch the jiggling.
It's a shitty dance. It's a shitty song.
It's a shitty song, yes, but
and the electric slide is also a shitty dance, and the song that goes with it is a shitty song. Like we had sock hops in middle school. I guess now you just call them regular dances, but for some reason they still stuck to that 50s term sock hops. And
you know what the cool one was? I like the Cupid Shuffle. It has a real funky beat and everything, and it's basically the same moves when you do it over and over and over, but it's got a good funky beat. If you never heard of Cupid Shuffle, that one's pretty cool. You have to YouTube that after we're done.
No. Joe, are you a dancer? Did you dance? Did you go to school dances? And if you did you dance, or did you just were you a wallflower?
No, I didn't wallflower. Like there's certain moves. There's like I just naturally.
What are your moves, Joe?
Well, I mean, I always like to emulate anything that just kind of has some smooth stuff when you're doing, and kind of like whether you're doing anything funky or popping and locking. Yeah,
you're popping and locking, huh?
Doing pop locking and
doing the robot and shit.
I never did much of the robot. I'd like, imitating kind of like when Michael Jackson would do that thing where you stand in place and turn around in a circle and like you almost look like you're moving but not moving. I could get down, man. I could still do that stuff. So yeah.
The girls liked it, right? Because girls just melt when they find a dude that will like dance with them and be silly with them.
Yeah, it wasn't just the hey, oh, Skippy or whatever the hell that dance is.
Doing the Carlton dance.
Well, that's the thing. It's the Carlton dance, but it's like something usually. Hey, white people always did that thing to the side, or whatever. It's like I never did that. I was like, what the hell is this? Can you do something besides snapping your fingers and moving side to what? Oh God!
Found out something new about Joe this weekend. He's a dancer. He likes to pop and lock and shit.
What do you do? You gotta move. You gotta have some rhythm and stuff. You gotta do. You gotta. It's part of life. So. There you go. Grimbot said Macarena is way better than the Gangnam Style. Yeah, the Gangnam Style. Oh, Gangnam Style. Yeah. Gangnam Style. Oh,
yeah. God. I mean, yeah. All those dumb fad dances.
How the hell did we get into dancing? But
we had to have our side rant because, dude, we actually. I think this is the first time on the show that we pretty much went from a movie beginning to end and actually talked about.
I didn't realize that is the first because you know how many times we've done a movie. And it's let's discuss this movie, and I think we talk about the movie for 15 minutes.
Tyler is gonna be pissed. He's gonna you guys choose now the 1 week that I'm not here that you and Joe just are in cahoots, and you decide that you're just actually gonna talk about the movie for most of the episode. I've never thought about
it until you just said it. Yeah, usually we'll talk about the movie for 15 minutes.
But that was pretty detailed though. Like we went like scene to scene almost. No, not quite, but we touched a lot of the.
Close. We usually talk about the movie and we'll say what happened at the beginning and the end and done. We usually don't talk about in between stuff. We do side rants, then we talk about maybe the actor. I never thought of that. We didn't. Yeah, we actually talked about the damn movie. Yeah, look at what Fedmon said. Joe, all the stuff you reeled today, Tyler's going to rib you about.
Probably.
Yeah, we'll see, but.
You got the dance moves. So Tyler don't have no moves. I know he doesn't have any moves. I've seen him at dances before. I've seen him slow dancing before, and that looked awesome.
I bet you do some crazy shit. You're probably just like wild or nuts if you.
No. I'm into the song, and I do this at work because there are people at work that we play music in the area that we're at, and some of them start dancing. And for me, there is like an energy that just like builds up and I have to like do something. So like if I'm really feeling the beat, I'll just start like moving in some weird way and people like it. Like sometimes it's funny and then played for laughs, and then other times they're just like, oh wow, you actually got some moves.
No, you do. I mean, hell, I mean, it's just sometimes it's just within somebody. Not saying not everybody can dance, but some people will maybe learn to dance and can do it well, and sometimes it's just you feel it.
You
It's
just
like
feel it.
you, yeah. I love music if it's just got a good funky beat. It's like, and that could be from any type of music. That could be rock, rap, country, hip hop, anything you think of. If it's got something funky, you can get into it, and if you can dance to it, that's good. So, yeah, there we go. All right.
But yeah, Tyler, no rhythm. He's not here to defend himself. No rhythm at all.
People are
It's
like, I
so
don't need any rhythm. I just see the girl that's over there. I approach her, I talk to her, and that's all I need. I just use my machismo, and then I flex my muscles. Bam, the girl's with me. We'll have to find out if he's been dancing today while we were doing this. Maybe he got, we're doing some dancing or something. We're gonna find out tonight on Fans of Power.
yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that goes. I'm awaiting a text message. I'm sure I won't get one probably till about 6:00. But but who knows? Maybe I'll get the text like, yeah, you and Joe are gonna have to do Fans of Power, and I'm just like, man, really? I mean, I'm happy for you, but shit, man, like.
Well, we're gonna find out if his date has been extended tonight. I mean, this early date could lead to a.
Maybe they found an apple tree.
That'd be great. They got their own personal apple tree, little shaded off area where it's darkened back there, right in back of there. We don't. Hey, you don't see nothing, huh? So it's just as good as the place I told you in the woods where we'd go, and there was like a little shaded off little fort that we'd make. Man, the woods are perfect and fun, especially when you're growing up. All right, but you're gonna have to wrap us up because I don't want to turn this into some insane.
There's ticks and spiders out there, and I don't want to be naked and be near those things.
What happens? What the hell?
Do what you got to do, right?
Do what you got to do, and then you take care of your spider bite later or something. Who cares? Spiders just getting excited, just join in the action.
Suck the venom out. You know what I'm saying?
So there you go. Wrap us up. Tell everybody what to do, Nathan.
All right. Well, thanks to Fedmon, Grim2, Who Dat Whale, and Delvis for joining us live today. If you're new to the channel, hit subscribe and hit that bell so you get notified when we go live or when new videos get posted. Check out the links down below. Go to beyondretropodcast.com. Check out the audio downloads. Go to Podbean and iTunes. Those links are there. If you guys are joining us from Podbean or iTunes, I encourage you to come over to YouTube, give us a subscribe, support the channel. Check out Joe's Customs, buy his t-shirts, and check out Fans of Power tonight at 9 p.m. The He-Man podcast hosted by Joe and Tyler. And Tyler and I were talking about this yesterday. I'm starting to gradually I'm crossing over, man. I'm becoming a fixture on that show.
You've been in quite a few of the episodes. Anytime it's mini comics, we've had you on. When we did for the Masters Jeopardy, you did the She-Ra review with me. I know there's the parts where if we're discussing other things in the cartoon and character profiles, I know that's usually not your thing. That's when you might want to bow out at times because you don't flip over. But yeah, since you got that mini comic collection book, when we do mini comics, it's always great to have you on. It's always fun having you just to have that other person to bounce an opinion off of back and forth. But I could understand with character profile and bios and things, I can understand the bowing out. That's why, just as a quick thing, like with the Thundercast with Thomas Guerra and Tyler Baker, I was a part of that, but I told him, I said, guys, I'm gonna be honest, I just didn't want to do the show no more. I said, because I can't really bring nothing to the show. I said, you guys are talking about the episodes, you're talking about sometimes the comics character profiles. I said, I can research and watch. I said, but I know when there's things I can't really bring. I mean, there's things that, if I watch an episode, just like, when you're reading the comics, I can feel comfortable talking about something. But when they want to get in depth, I feel so damn lost, and I feel like I'm not bringing nothing. And I'm not saying that's what you do. Because
but that's how I feel. I feel the same way in regards to that. When you guys go into the character profiles and stuff, I'm like, I'll leave that. Like, I'll leave it to the pros.
That's what I was saying. That's why I was going to let you know. I know where you're coming from with that feeling because, man, I feel so lost. Like I said, sure, I grew up with Thundercats and I know stuff, but man, when they start talking, I'm like, man, what the fuck? I don't even know what's going on. They're so in depth. I feel so clueless, and
yeah, no, it makes sense. And I guess the one other thing I did want to add to that little outro thing that I always do, leave a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts on Sleepaway Camp and the ending, and did it keep you up at night like it did for Joe when he was a kid?
Man, I thought it was a monster. I never knew until years later. I thought it was just a hairy monster. I didn't understand the blood, the penis. I couldn't see with my quality. Then years later, when I finally had a better quality scene, I was like, oh my God, that's blood. Wait, that's a penis. Now I know what they're talking about. I didn't know what the hell it was. I just thought it was a hairy creature. So, wow. I mean, you heard the growling. That's why, as a kid, picture me as a kid. That's why I want to let everybody know that was my kid impression. I'm hearing, and then you see that. I thought it was a monster.
Well, all right. Like, and you don't have to give a specific age because I don't want anyone to be like, well, this is how old Joe is. But more on the younger spectrum, or more towards like, are you pushing teenage years at the like? Because I think about it.
We could say close to teenage years at that time. So,
all right, I know where. I think I know where to put you in there, but no, the main reason I asked that is because I can just imagine being that age and watching that would freak me the fuck out.
It twists your brain, especially if you're not knowing what you're seeing. Like I said, you're thinking it's a monster. Yeah, that's all I thought. I was like, how did this beautiful girl now become this hairy beast? I didn't know it was blood. But then, like I said, I understood, oh, she had that decapitated head on her. And of course, the blood.
Well, I mean, Paul's body is kind of like laying beside her. You just don't know that the head is just completely detached.
Right. That's what I mean. All that blood got all over her chest and came down, and the way they cleverly had the hair. So, and like I said, it's a guy's body that was there with the mask covering. But and if you don't know who Felissa Rose is, you have to look her up.
I don't know how well this is going to show up, but we did. Well, Tyler mainly did. I would just sort of stood off to the side and was like, hi. But yeah, Tyler actually met her this past year at Mad Monster. I'll bring up this real quick and then we can totally wrap it up.
Yep. I was like, how lucky did he get to meet her in person? So just those just beautiful brown eyes. I mean, as a kid, she looked. Right. Go ahead.
All right, let's see. I'll get it to kind of zoom in a little bit. There we go.
Yeah, she's still got it going on.
Yeah, and I actually looked up the actress that played Meg, and she looks pretty good too.
Shut up, Meg. But no, go ahead. Every time I hear Meg, I only think of Family Guy and Peter. I know you hate Family Guy.
Family Guy's the worst.
No, it's not. It's great. See you guys next week.
No, Family Guy does suck.
It's great. See ya.
See you guys next
week. Great.
No, it's